They said the chances of me surviving were really slim. And so my parents were obviously really devastated by this, but they always held on to hope. A lot of us were kind of conditioned from a young age to have that scarcity mindset of lack, of fear.
True.
And we need to start embracing an abundance mindset of like possibilities and opportunities and just seeing how money can help us reach our goals. Visibility leads to opportunity because the more you put yourself out there, the more you step out of your comfort zone, amazing opportunities come your way. You start to attract those opportunities and the connections and the people into your life that are meant to be in your life.
Welcome back to Women in the Making, where we explore the journeys of incredible women who are not just making their mark, but leading with impact. Today, I am thrilled to have Miracle Olatunji, a keynote speaker, entrepreneur, author, and founder of Her Wallet Media. Her journey is one of resilience, community building, and passion for financial empowerment. We'll dive into her story from surviving a near miracle birth to empowering women through wellness and financial literacy. Get ready for an episode packed with purpose, empowerment, and inspiration. Miracle, thank you so much for coming to Women in the Making Season 3.
Thank you for having me.
Your name holds so much meaning, right? Miracle. Can you share the story behind it and how the miracle mindset shaped your life?
Absolutely. So when my mom was only a few weeks pregnant with me, she started having premature labor contractions and she got quickly rushed to the hospital. And then when she got to the hospital, the doctors told her that the chances of me surviving such a premature birth, because it was only a few weeks at that point,
Wow.
they said the chances of me surviving were really slim. And so my parents were obviously really devastated by this, but they always held on to hope and they just refused to let go of hope. And so actually a few weeks later, I was born healthy and no complications at all. So it was a miracle birth. And my grandfather actually suggested the name to my parents. And then when they heard it, they were like, wow, that's the perfect name. They loved it. So
I loved it. I've never heard that name before, so I think it just goes perfect. I was thinking like people would keep their kids' name Hope,
yeah.
Miracle, and that's amazing because it's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
They say that your greatest pivot is waiting outside your comfort zone.
That's so true.
And 2017 was that year for you. Do you want to share how that entrepreneurial spirit spiked inside you and what happened?
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh, yes. 2017 was my pivot year. So I was a junior in high school at the time, and every year my school would host an event called Activity Fair. And basically it would be at the start of the school year where you could sign up for different clubs and student groups. And so my friend, he told me he was starting entrepreneurship club. And I was like, what is entrepreneurship? I didn't know what that word meant. And so he said it had to do with business. And I was like, because I wanted to support him, let me just sign up and put my name down. And I didn't know that experience would end up changing my life. Like I got introduced to a program called Diamond Challenge. And it's a high school program where students can pitch their business or their nonprofit and actually win funding for their ideas. And so I thought that was pretty cool. So I decided to join that as well. And ultimately it helped me discover like an entrepreneurial mindset that I didn't even know I had. And it was just a really life-changing experience for me. And just like you said, when you step out of your comfort zone, when you try new things, so many amazing things can happen. At the time, like I wanted to be a doctor actually, because everyone in my family was in healthcare. So that's all I knew, right? So I was
pretty
like, that's
much
my
my story.
inspiration. Yes.
My parents are doctors and they always wanted both their kids to be doctors. And the time when I had to, like rip open a frog, and I said that was the end of that career.
Yes. For real. It's like, oh, you have to dissect something in class. And it's like, no, thanks.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. So it's really good to expand our horizons because there's so many amazing opportunities out there. And you just never know where your passion lies unless you try new things.
That's true.
And get out of your comfort zone.
I love that. So Her Wallet Media is such an incredible platform.
Thank you.
What was your inspiration behind starting it, and how are you creating space for women to grow their net worth, network, and self-worth?
Yes, absolutely. So in 2017, I mentioned that's my pivot year for two reasons. So entrepreneurship, I got introduced to it. I also got introduced to financial literacy that year. My mom and I went to this workshop together. It was called Women Empowered to Financially Thrive. And so it was at the local library. We just showed up, and I remember the presenter was showing us a graph. She showed us how your money grows in savings versus how it grows in investing. And that was just eye-opening for me. And I was like, more women need to be talking about this. More people need to know about this.
Yeah.
And so I just became super passionate about investing in the stock market, and I decided to study finance in school. And then when I was in school, I joined a group called Thrive, and it was this center on campus where students could go and get like financial literacy advice. So I just was really active in that group. I became their director of innovation, and I decided to launch a program with the same name, Women Empowered to Financially Thrive. And we had a panel, and the whole purpose was net worth building, network, and self-worth. And so I was like, I want this to become a thing. So I decided to create Her Wallet Media. And so it's all about education, community, and like educating about the different forms of self-care. So like financial self-care, emotional, physical, social, all different types of self-care. So
I love
that's what we're
that.
about.
You know, we talk so much about self-care. We
Yes.
talk so much that we need to take care of ourselves.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times you forget that self-care involves taking care of your money as well and your
Absolutely.
finances.
Yes.
So what you said about network, net worth, self-worth is very important. And like this has been rhyming in my mind since last night, because you hear about it, but not necessarily, not everybody talks about it.
Absolutely.
And I think the more as women we talk about and support each other and find women and find that network to grow together to build something big, we are so powerful.
Absolutely.
You know, we are unstoppable.
Yes.
Just like the Sia's song
Oh,
Unstoppable.
I love that song.
I love that so
It's on my gym playlist.
So because you're an entrepreneur, what's the harshest reality of entrepreneurship that people don't talk about?
Yeah, for sure. So I really like, and it also can be tough, how you basically have different hats as an entrepreneur. You're marketing, finance, especially if you're a solo founder or if you have like one other co-founder, you have to wear so many different hats and like learn different parts of running a business. And I really enjoy that, but sometimes it is hard, and it takes you like seeing what are my strengths and what should I outsource and what should I delegate. So for me, I love marketing, I love communications, I love the finance side, but when it comes to design, I'm not your girl. So I try to like outsource that. And then I also use Canva for like designing all of our social
Yeah, I
media and
love
things like that.
Canva.
Canva's a lifesaver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. So is the modern push for women's financial independence, do you think, is hurting traditional family values?
Oh, so I think honestly, the more women invest, the better our society is, because as women, we're more likely to invest in the causes that we care about.
Yeah.
And when we have more financial resources, we're able to pour into our communities and like help the next generation. So I think actually more women becoming financially independent is helping our society overall and helping families as well.
You're so well spoken, Miracle. Like, I have to think my thoughts 2 times. It's beautiful. I wrote something for you, that you've transformed adversity into a platform for change. In a world where women often face challenges in financial independence, your story is a beacon of hope for so many.
Thank you.
Miracle, you just spoke about the financial literacy workshop in the library that your mom and you attended. What advice do you want to give to young women who are not able to take control of their lives through financial independence? What do you think we should tell them today?
Yeah, for sure. So I often like to think of money as more than just money, right? It's power, it's options, it's flexibility.
Yeah.
It helps you achieve the goals that you want to achieve. So whether it's going on a vacation, whether it's funding your education or a goal that you have, like starting a business, money is power. So I think just like changing our money mindset. I was at a conference this past weekend and I was speaking about money mindset. There's the scarcity mindset and the abundance mindset. And a lot of us were kind of conditioned from a young age to have that scarcity mindset of lack, of fear.
True.
And we need to start embracing an abundance mindset of like possibilities and opportunities and just seeing how money can help us reach our goals.
Yeah, I love that. I'm so glad you shared that. I think it's very important in today's world that we talk more and more about financial literacy. And it's important that when people like you are keynote speakers, you know, who are entrepreneurs, who are on that path to lead other women, there is so much more awareness And I think that is something we all need to understand and take control of. In your journey so far, Miracle, what myths about money and wealth have you found to be the most damaging to women? And how do we change
Yeah.
these narratives?
Absolutely. There's quite a few. So one of them is that you need to have a lot of money to start, but actually a little bit of money goes a long way. So even if you could invest $100 a month or $200 every other month, however much it is, just starting is the most important thing. And also when it comes to investing in the stock market, a lot of people think they can time the market and it's like, oh, maybe I can like try to get in on this stock and things like that. But really it's all about time in the market, like really starting early and being consistent with your investing. That's how your money will grow and compound over time.
There's so many places that women can invest or men
Yes.
can invest, right? There's crypto, there's regular investments in bankings or savings, and a lot more stock options. How do women, maybe they are stay-home moms, maybe they are young students, where do you think they should find the right support? Plus, there are enormous amount of scams these days.
Oh, yeah.
So, can you speak from your experience? Like, if somebody is just getting started today, where should they seek help?
Yeah, for sure. So I really like to turn to websites like Fidelity. So Fidelity is one of the biggest brokers. You have Fidelity and Vanguard. And so Fidelity, what I really like about them is they have all these educational materials with even step by step on how to open an account, how to connect your checking account to your investment account, how to fund it, how to automate your investments even. That's one of my favorite features too. It's
Yeah.
just automating it. So that way you don't even have to think about it. It's just
Yeah.
natural. You get your paycheck, a certain amount of money is going towards your investments in stocks and stocks, index funds, ETFs, things like that. I mostly like to invest in things that I understand. So I personally don't touch crypto, but and I always recommend to people or like tell people when it comes to investing, try to think of like what are the companies that you use every day. And also, so you don't have to pick stocks, there's something called the S&P 500. It's an index fund where basically you invest in it and you're invested in the top 500 companies in the US. So that's really amazing. There's a lot of really cool like investment opportunities that don't require
great
speculation.
recommendations.
Yes.
And I want to say something that it's very important that you do your research.
Yes.
Anybody who's a good person in the stock world, they do their research. They study about those companies a lot. So if you're investing, make sure you reach out to the right resources and sources and then put your money anywhere that you would like to. And don't click on the messages that say something about something.
Don't click on weird links.
Exactly. You don't want to just lose your money in a
Yes.
matter of minutes.
And wealth is something that's built over time. Like anytime you see something where it's like, oh, you can get rich in like 2 weeks, that's probably
I've
a scam.
got a lot of those messages where people would add you directly to telegrams and those apps. And I'm like, okay, that is getting dangerous.
It is.
Yeah.
Gotta be
So
really
I know we
careful.
all receive spam, so watch out for them.
Yes.
You've built Crunch and Brunch, a community that merges fitness, friendship, financial growth. How lovely is that? How do you think these aspects are interconnected for anybody to prosper and grow?
Absolutely. So I actually moved to Washington last year in February. I'm from the East Coast.
Okay.
And I mainly moved to Washington for work. And, coming here, I kind of had to, it was a nice way to reinvent myself in a way and also like start a new support system because most of my loved ones are on the East Coast. And so moving here, I really was craving community. And that's what inspired me to create Crunch and Brunch. And we do workout classes together and just different wellness events. And it kind of goes back to how wellness is interconnected. And there's so many different dimensions. There's the physical wellness,
Yes.
emotional wellness, and also social wellness because we're social human beings and it's really important to have that community support. And also working out is a lot more fun with friends.
It is. I agree.
It's really
I've always worked out alone, so I can get really lazy.
Yeah, it's like motivating. You have that accountability. And then afterwards, we share a meal together. We go to a brunch spot or dinner spot afterwards.
Oh, I love
Last
that.
week, we went to Pilates together.
Burn the calories
Yeah.
and then go eat the food.
Enjoy the great food as well. But we went to Pilates last Wednesday, and then we went to a Greek restaurant for dinner afterwards. So it was a lot of fun.
How cool is that, Miracle?
Yeah.
That's lovely. I thought of a story, and I'm going to read a little bit because I do remember her story, and I thought you reminded me of this woman. I'm not sure if you know the story of Viola Desmond. She's from Canada's Rosa Park. Viola Desmond was a black businesswoman from Nova Scotia in 1946, and she challenged racial segregation in Canada by refusing to leave a white only section in a movie theater. Of course, she faced criticism, hatred, and her act of defiance happened 9 years before Rosa Parks' famous protest in the US. Now, Viola was arrested and fined, sparking one of Canada's most important civil rights cases. And she later became a symbol of resilience and courage, eventually being honored on a Canada's $10 bill.
Wow.
And I feel what you're doing right now is creating a spark. And, it just reminded me of Viola Desmond, like how she started something small and grew it into such a big thing. And when we speak for our rights, when we speak for ourselves and we do something for other people, there's some change that happens around us. And thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Yes, I love what you said about courage. I feel like I have been trying to redefine for myself and share with others what it means to be courageous. And a lot of times you hear a word like courageous or fearless and you think it means, oh, they don't have fear. They go about life, no fears, no doubts. But actually being courageous requires you feel that fear and you just do it anyway. And you choose to be brave. You choose to step out of your comfort zone. And so many amazing things can happen when we step out of our comfort zone.
And I'm a mindset coach and I go to schools and teach the kids, and I always say this one line that fear never goes away. It always stays with you. So all you need to do is overcome it, but it doesn't need to end. It's always going to stick with you. So just think beyond the fear, what's there for you. It's just like taking a big hike and you're standing at the edge to see that river or mountain or the lake that you've been wanting to. But if you don't take that leap of faith to climb that mountain, you're never going to see those views. So everybody wants to see the views, but they don't want to climb the mountain.
Yes, that's so true. I love that because it's feel the fear and do it anyway and just do it scared. Like you said, the fear is never going to go away. It's always going to be there. But instead of using it as a deterrent from your goals, use it to fuel you to go up that mountain, to reach your goals, do whatever it is that you want to do in life.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Miracle, you moved from the East Coast to West Coast, created Crunch and Brunch. And, moving across the country, leaving your loved ones is never easy. But how has this experience changed your perspective towards leadership and approach to wellness?
Yeah, for sure. So, as I stepped out into a new place, a new city, away from home, I learned about just being more comfortable with ambiguity and just being comfortable with being in a new environment and learning how to navigate that. And I feel like that really helped build up my confidence. And that's another thing, kind of like courage. People think you're either born with it or you're not, but it's actually a muscle. It's kind of like when you go to the gym and you lift weights, or you're a runner, or you're training for a marathon. The more that you practice, the better you'll get. So I realized that my courage muscle was getting stronger the more I stepped out of my comfort zone. The more I was like, you know what, I'm going to create a community. I'm looking for community. Let me create it at the same time. So just like learning to be more confident in myself.
That's incredible. Community is such a powerful tool. I love what you said, that one way to find community is to create it, and that is leadership in action.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad you've done that. We hear a lot about wellness in today's world.
Yes.
Is wellness just a buzzword, or are we being sold expensive self-care, or it's genuinely something that can stick with us in the right way?
Yes.
What do you have to say?
For sure. So that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup?
Yes.
So I see both perspectives of that, where I do see parts where wellness is being commercialized. And that's why with wellness, there's so many different aspects. So yes, there's the face masks and the candles and all the products, but also it's like sitting down and making a budget, or like finding time with your loved ones and going on a walk, things that don't have to cost any money too. And just like learning that wellness is multidimensional. So you have that emotional side, the physical side, and it's not always like, bubble bath and like the softer aspects, but it's also sometimes, I would say one of the hardest forms of wellness is emotional wellness, like confronting those hard emotions, whether it's going through therapy or, journaling, just different ways to just get out of your emotion, get your emotions out, and being okay with feeling. Like it's okay to feel. And so I think that there's both sides definitely of that conversation of like the commercialization, but also the fact that we do need all these different practices for our own overall well-being.
Yeah. So you recently had your Seattle Wellness Summit in
Yes.
Seattle. So what was the impact that we saw in those women that
Yeah.
attended your event? And what do you think moving on, you're going to take this forward?
Absolutely. So Seattle Wellness Summit started as a vision. So my friend Hannah and I had hosted an event back in March for International Women's Day, and it was a beautiful success. We had a great turnout, and the impact on the attendees was amazing. And so we started thinking, we want to do a bigger event. So we came up with Seattle Wellness Summit, and it's just really beautiful to see that vision come to life in all those months of planning, where we had a yoga session, we had 2 panels. One of them was on financial wellness, and we had just an amazing lineup of panelists from the real estate industry, from the investing world, wealth management, and then we also had another panel on emotional and physical wellness as well. So we had a therapist on there, a physical therapist, and a personal trainer, and it was just such a beautiful opportunity for women to learn, from one another, from the panelists, to connect. One of my other favorite aspects was that we had women-owned vendors or women-owned business vendors there selling their products and services. So it was just really exciting for me to see all those passions come to life: the wellness, the financial empowerment for women, supporting fellow women business owners as well. And then each person left with a goodie bag, and we're really grateful for all our partners and our sponsors who helped make this happen and supported us in our first year of the summit.
That is beautiful, and I'm learning so much from you, and you're doing an incredible work.
Thank you.
And I hope this work continues for very, very long, and we only see success from your side. Miracle, we are coming to the last segment, which is called the rapid fire. It is quick and fun and quirky. Are you ready?
Yes.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
One of the best pieces of advice that I've received is from a mentor of mine in college. She runs an organization called Innovation Women, and it's a speakers bureau and visibility platform for women entrepreneurs and creators. And so one thing that she would always say is that visibility leads to opportunity, because the more you put yourself out there, the more you step out of your comfort zone, amazing opportunities come your way. You start to attract those opportunities and the connections and the people into your life that are meant to be in your life.
That is so beautiful. I'm going to remember that and write it down.
Yes.
If you had to describe your journey in one word, what will it be?
Yeah, I was thinking something along the lines of just fascinating. I feel like the more that I just push myself out of my comfort zone, I know that's been a theme today, but just like the more that I dare to just be courageous and dare to be confident and go after my dreams, I feel like amazing opportunities happen, amazing conversations, amazing people come my way. So I would say just like fascinating. I think it's been a journey.
It's amazing. What's the biggest lie you've heard about wellness and financial success that women need to stop believing?
Absolutely. So definitely that we shouldn't be part of the conversation. I feel like everyone should be in the conversation about financial literacy, regardless of your background, regardless of what you do for a living. It's really important for all of our lives. And so it's very important to like continue having these kind of discussions and getting more people at the table for financial wellness.
Incredible. Crunch or brunch, if you had to pick one?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I'm a foodie. I would pick brunch.
The brunch. I would have to be on the same page. Yeah, I agree. I am definitely a big brunch person. It's my favorite meal of the day.
I love that. Last question. Tell us a secret nobody knows about you.
Yeah, so I was on a dance team in college. It was kind of informal. It was one of those dance groups where you just show up and dance, and it's really fun. So it was called No Limits Dance Crew. So I did that in college.
That is incredible. Thank you so much, Miracle.
Thank you.
I had so much fun inviting you, being here with you, having this beautiful chat.
Thank you so much.
We only have good things and good wishes for you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Miracle, your story is truly one of purpose, resilience, and impact. You've shown us that from financial wellness to community building, leadership is about more than just success. It's about creating a lasting change. Thank you for sharing your journey with us and for empowering so many women through your work. I can't wait to see what's next for you. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, share, and like. And if you know a Women in the Making, go to www.womeninthemaking.com and send us a request. Thank you.